Check.
Mic check. Chickadee
Okay.
check. Hello.
Shazam, bam, whim, bam.
We good to go here?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. What's up, everyone? Welcome to the More Than Tattoos podcast. My name is Chris Powell. I am a husband, father, tattooer. Me and my beautiful wife own, and I say this last episode too, I think, but Thousand Oaks in Springfield, Ohio, and we're stoked to be here. And this is my co-host here, Tim.
What up?
Well, topics kind of fun today. You know, it's something that we revolve around a lot, and I just want to ask you guys a real big question here. Are you motherfuckers ready to blow up on social media? 1 million followers, 7.89 seconds guaranteed. Just follow these steps right here.
This is it.
This is it.
This is the actual real thing.
Yeah, you just take a hoop, you light it on fire, and you run, and you just dive through that motherfucker.
And then you have to record it.
Oh, yeah, don't forget that.
Yeah, you have to record it to prove it.
Yeah, and then when you land, you roll, you stand up, and you do a little TikTok dance.
Right.
Boom.
Right. It's going to blow up for sure.
Yeah, and then your business...
Would you say 8-9 seconds?
Something like that.
Tested.
Yeah. And then your business is just good forever.
Oh, yeah. Millions and millions rolling in. You know, you've always got inquiries. All those products are being sold. You know, your Canva account has blown up.
Yeah, plus the longevity of your business will be forever because all the TikTok audience is young. They're going to grow up and they're going to want to become your clients.
Mm-hmm. It's just going to be out there forever, you know? Yeah, you just need the one video.
But no, all funniness aside, we're obviously being stupid here. Yeah, we wanted to touch on social media today and maybe relate to a lot of you tattooers out there because I feel like there is I don't know if preconceived notion is the right word, that you got to be an influencer, you got to make videos that get tons of likes, tons of hits. You gotta follow the standard that I know when I get on my Instagram, I fucking see tattooers that are getting 7,000-8,000, that sets the bar extremely high. And I feel like you could fall into a trap of sorts to where it's like, oh, fuck, I don't want to do that, or I can't do that. How am I gonna keep pushing forward? And I think that the mindset we've had with a lot of our approach will resonate with a lot of you guys and hopefully ease the burden, lighten the load of having to perform on social media at that level. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I would agree. And I like that you said fall into a trap because I think there are multiple kind of traps you can fall into. Just to touch on a couple, you can fall into the algorithm trap where you're just thinking, dude, I just can't get shit to hit. You know, the algorithm is working against me, or just, you know, being the complete opposite is like, well, no, fuck that. It's not what it does, you know, and it's just, I'm just definitely not being good enough. I don't know if caring about it that much either way really brings the most benefit to someone when they're trying to be like social or whatever. But that's one. Another one is, like you said, the influencer pathway is like, oh, I have to like constantly show up with my face and be energetic and constantly making people laugh. I don't think you need to do that either. But yeah, I think there's multiple kinds of traps that you can like fall into, really get sucked into that will keep you from just showing up. Yeah, you know, to the people that want your business anyway, which it's part of the mindset that we have, right? Is like, who are you really trying to attract, or who are you trying to reach out to with your content?
What are your goals? Who are you trying to be? I think that's been something that we've had a lot of conversations about for sure. And would I say that having 100,000 followers, having videos that get that kind of views, would that help? Obviously, yes.
Right.
But what do the goods look like behind that? You know, what's the skill level? What's the client relations? Like, what are you doing behind that? Because you could do a video that blows up and still be a turd, you know, and still struggle to move forward or gain clients, but you're not really hitting the long-term goal. You know, people are maybe seeing this video and having these expectations, but then moving forward, you're not quite hitting that, and each person is leaving a little underwhelmed or a little disappointed or a little they were real hyped, and it didn't quite hit this, didn't quite hit that standard of that what they
Right.
thought. The content you got of their stuff didn't quite hit that mark. And I think long term, you may be winning short, but long term, you're not really capitalizing on that potential. I guess. Something that we've always done has shown up consistent, shown up with caring about the clients, and not really looking to hit viral. Not really looking to... Yeah, I mean, if you go to our page right now, what we got? Almost 17,000 followers.
Mm-hmm.
When I look at that, I'm like, what the fuck? That's not that many. When I look at, I could get on my Instagram right now and probably pull up first 10 tattooers in my feed, and they all got 50K plus followers.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I guarantee you, on a business level, financial level, client relation level, we're right there with any of them.
Mm-hmm.
I almost guarantee it. Maybe not status, or maybe, in the industry, but that's not really what I'm even going for here. And that's been something that we've always have had in our mind while doing social media, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, it's always been a good reminder for sure, because again, we're not the guys, So definitely you look at those numbers that other accounts have, and you're like, fuck. What could we do with those kinds of numbers? What would happen for our businesses if that could be possible for us? But it's a good reminder to know that we've got pretty much the same things. Like you said, we're right up there with them as far as the financial side and the business relationship style stuff. So you gotta be able to separate yourself from the numbers a little bit and not play into the comparison game, because again, it's a trap. It's definitely a big trap you could fall into. And when you do that, you miss, maybe not every time, because I think we've been consistent on building value with clients and stuff. But I think if you're too focused on the numbers all the time, you can lose the point in who you're trying to bring value to. Because then you find yourself just and some people like doing dances, but maybe you just find yourself doing TikTok dances.
You do not want to see me doing TikTok dances.
Right, dude. Well,
I would get made fun of so hard. Maybe I would go viral for that reason.
See, and that's doing it for the right reasons, because we have had videos go viral, and we've obviously talked about what that content was going to be before we made it, but I don't know if we fully anticipated what it was going to look like on the other side of the screen, right?
Yeah.
Because there's just so many different perspectives, and I think that it got taken out of context in a lot of ways, but there's definitely a way that you can just, so many people make content about the whole blow up in fucking 30 days or something like that. So you could say there's a step-by-step way to do it, but do you really want to bring yourself to do that? Are you going to do I guess you could say, the right thing for the wrong reasons?
Well, and I see so many tattooers get sidetracked by the social media aspect of things, but it's really, I think some of the main ingredients to continue and not have to worry about blowing up is showing up with the right attitude, the right heart. Obviously, continue working on your craft, continue growing your skills and becoming a better tattooer, and then just being consistent at doing something. I'm not telling you to take acting classes and upload 3 TikTok videos every day and follow the trends. And which, if you did, would your account grow? For sure.
Yeah.
Would your business grow? For sure. Especially if you're a dope tattooer. And so I'm not saying don't, but I'm just trying to ease the burden here of being that, because we've never been that. We've never went out of our way to really focus hard on growing in that
trying
way.
to blow up, go viral,
Yeah, we show up consistently. We do the best photos we can, do the best tattoos we can. We try to acknowledge and build the best relationships we can with the clients, and now, could book up months at a time with just repeat clients who are working on big projects. That, yeah, they could have went 2 cities over, they could have went a state over and got a tattoo for half the cost, but they chose to come here for XYZ. But it wasn't because we're viral. It wasn't because we started this new trend on Instagram. That wasn't the reason. It was just because we showcase the experience, we showcase the culture, just by how we acknowledge people in our captions and the environment inside the shop. I think that's what people are really looking for. Now, I do think that there's a lot of people trying to grab that attention. So, are you competing for that space? Yeah. Are there ways to get attention without making videos like viral, funny? Yeah, there is. There's plenty of ways you can. So I think that I just wanted to bring this up because it's so loud that you have to be viral. Like, you have to fucking, if you ain't got 100,000 followers, like, are you even a good,
right?
But that's not true. It's not true, and you can be a fucking rock star, and have your 5,000 followers, 10,000 followers, 1,000 followers, and still do great things for great people, and hit the goals that you set for yourself. So I think that's just something I wanted to address here early on, and really just kind of talk about our approach with social media, and because I do think that if you fall into that trap, there's a lot of things that come with that, mental health wise. And next thing you know, it's been 6 months and you're in a rut and you feel stuck and you ain't hitting your goals and you ain't doing this, all because you don't want to be an influencer and you don't want to have to succumb to doing things on social media that you don't want to. So why even try? Why even do it? I don't want to, that's just not me. I'm just going to delete social media and then just eventually fall out of the tattoo industry, fall out of being self-employed, and just get a job because I can just check in and check out. Because I don't want to be a social media person. I
will say hats off to the people that like fucking love doing like the TikTok, dances and trends and stuff like that. And you're also a really strong artist. And on that, you have like a good business end because let's face it, you're the trifecta, man.
Yeah.
You fucking
Matt Vault.
Yeah, him. I think another one is Winnie the Drew.
Yeah.
Makes fucking good content, and involves his clients while he's doing that. So, dude, I think there are definitely a handful of tattooers that fucking brain fart. I'm gonna get it in a second. There's a handful of tattooers that are the trifecta right now, like with social media and everything. So,
and they make it look easy,
dude. They really do, and they're fucking killing it.
But I'm like, I gotta be on camera. You're gonna make me talk. Let me take this paragraph and break it down into sentences so I can say one at a time and get my thought across.
Right.
So it's been tough. We've had this conversation a lot, but I've just never bought into the making it huge on social media. Maybe with this podcast in a more natural setting, more natural conversation, maybe so happens to get some of that and it works great. But that's not really what I'm going for here. I've always said that gradual steps I think is stronger, and over the past 5 years we've grown. We've doubled our Instagram followers. I think we were around 7K. Now we're around 17, so a little over doubled. But I would say a lot of those followers we've interacted with. A lot of them have, if not became clients, they wanted to, and follow closely. We've never paid for followers. I think we've ran a few ads, and I know you've tried to get me to run ads for a long time, and I just have never been one to want to do that. Right. So I think a lot of the following is authentic, maybe we don't get a ton of engagement from a lot of those followers, but
And I want to say that's another trap to fall into as well, is like the whole advertising thing. But with that, I want to be really careful with what I'm saying, because I still believe that it's very, very beneficial. I mean, it's marketing. As I think we said in the last episode that, being self-employed, you take all those hats. So marketing is just as big of a hat as fucking, being the worker, the employee, or the artist in this situation.
Yeah, and probably even more so if you're not trying to, if you don't have the personality type to go viral.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was just watching a video just yesterday, and I know Logan Paul, to me, seems pretty cringe, but they were talking on this podcast and about Prime, and where's all your money? What do you do? Some companies out here spending millions and millions of dollars on marketing, advertisement, but Logan's like, I don't have to market shit. I am the marketing. That eliminates millions of dollars of having to spend to get attention just because of who they are.
Right.
So obviously there are pros to that. So a little side tangent, but.
And that's even interesting on its own, because I mean, he does marketing for his own shit, right? So it's like,
I don't think so.
But I always see videos of him in the gym and shit.
Right, he is the marketing.
But someone's making that video.
So he may have a team. He may invest in a team, but I'm talking about literally spending dollars for ads, being paid to put on billboards, and being paid to be put here. He's the marketing. You don't have to pay for actual pushing his product, because he just fucking make a 60-second video
and blow up,
and millions of people see it. Why pay for, the team? And that stuff's different. That's investing in the business.
That makes sense.
But it is, in a sense, marketing, because someone's creating the content. But I seen that video and I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, that's crazy that he doesn't pay for any kind of ads.
Yeah,
at all. I fucking guess it makes sense.
Gets on the podcast, says his Prime bottle on the table, and.
But let's also just be clear that motherfucker's fought some dudes.
Yeah.
Some real
he's been around YouTube for a decade and a half now. Which comes back to consistency, but he's also done a lot of dumb shit that
and that's what I was gonna say as well.
Don't have it in me to do.
He's fought some crazy. Didn't he fight Floyd Mayweather or something?
Yeah.
So fuck that. I'm not doing that. I'm gonna get murdered.
Yeah.
And then second to that, I'm not gonna do all the dumb shit that he did to get all that stuff. But you always say you won $1 million, don't you? So, I mean, it's definitely some sort of sacrifice here. But is it really, though?
Well, I think if you are good at marketing, it's the highest paying job in the world right now.
It is.
I think that you have more potential to make money with being a good marketer than anything. And companies will throw money at you just to speak on their product for 30 seconds,
Yeah.
But circling back to goals, most of us don't want that. Most of us just want a good life with some retirement, with some savings, with a nice house and a car and a family, and just a comfortable, a little more than comfortable life. They don't need all the fucking shiny bells and whistles that.
You're right.
Which I think for a lot of tattooers, it's feeling tough right now. You hear the economy is tough, and you hear. I think that's the main thing I hear is people just don't have money right now, which. Starting this Ryan Roy class, I think that he talks a lot about money and is kind of looked at as energy. Energy, it just comes and goes, and there's a forever ending amount of it. And it's you can block that energy flow by certain beliefs that you have about it, versus living in an abundance and just believing that there's a infinite amount of it. And it can flow to me in any amount. It's there. And it's funny how even in my own business, I've experienced these feelings, and I've witnessed people on the team experiencing these feelings, and literally just flipping the switch and just deciding, okay, that's not accurate. That's not a true belief. It's there, I just need to find it, and I need to unblock that energy flow.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and have fucking dealt with it within the past year. You know, to where I'm like second guessing, thinking, having doubts. You know, oh, what if the economy is, you know, in it? And I'm sure there are a lot of people right now that maybe feeling the sting. I also think there's a lot of people right now who are chasing their own passions and dreams and not wanting to check into a 9 to 5.
Right.
I think that's huge. And yeah, we see now hiring signs everywhere, but maybe 2 or 3 of the employees at each place have just started their own business, have started their own company. They figured out how to make money online. They figured out how to go out and, you know, start their lawn mowing service or whatever, you know what I'm saying? So for me, it's really hard to fall into that feeling. And when I did, I could tell how it affected how many clients I was booking, you know, how easy it was for me to deliver the cost. You know, all of those beliefs I had trickled into that flow of energy, and maybe would make people second guess it or not see the value, or just not feel great about it. Maybe I don't know. Is that? I mean, I feel like I'm onto something here, but at the same time, I feel like I'm just rambling.
I mean, it was all good. Preach, brother. Preach. Yeah.
Yeah. But, yeah, I don't know. I think that there's a lot of headaches with social media, and that's why I hired Tim here.
That's right.
You know, because I didn't want to do it. And,
problem solver.
and if I had to be the face of it, I would probably not. I would do bare minimum for sure.
And I will say it. When I started out with social media, and even now, like we said, I can look at social media and tell you, which I do say at the shop, like, dude, social media likes when you put your face on it. You know, show up, like physically show up. People like to be able to like look at your eyes while they're like, can kind of see your mouth moving and hear music or your voice rather. So there's things about it that I picked up on and have done testing and stuff, but it's definitely not the baseline in the content that we make, and it does really good. I think that it does. It brings a lot of value to clients that not a lot of tattooers are talking about it in the way that we think about it, I think. So I think it'd be cool to jump into a little bit of that. Like, maybe the question to ask is, who do you think we're providing value to would be a clients, right? So in your opinion, how do we do that?
How do we provide value to clients?
Through like social media.
Treat them halfway decent. you know, I see so many tattooers make memes about clients, or like, man, if I have one more person reach out to me via DM and not email like it specifically says in my bio, I'm gonna flip or something. Right. You know, that was maybe an exaggeration, but we just give people grace, man. You know, like, they're not tattooers. They don't know, you know, especially if you aren't loud and clear about your operations, you know, like, they don't fucking know. But
right.
Tattooers are so quick to hate on some clients, and it's like, they're the ones that are helping, you know, like,
right.
they're trying to give you money and like wear something that you do on their skin forever, and you're gonna hate on them because they use some. They may have said tack gun instead of, right. You know.
Made you cringe a little bit.
Yeah, or how many tattooers will just be like, "Oh, that's a dumb idea. I'm not the artist for you,"
Dude,
and then
I'm
just
sure.
fucking, you know, see ya. So for me, I think that's something that we've always done to bring value to clients. And I seen a Facebook video a while back, and it was just talking about the blue ocean, and I think that. I guess I could just break down kind of what that means a little bit. Like, what's your blue ocean?
Right.
Like, whatever industry you're in, whatever business you're in, whatever you're doing, like, where's the gap? You know, if I'm looking at other businesses and I'm looking, okay, this person does this, he's really good at this, and this person does this, and I'm seeing, where's the gap? Where can I fill in that space? Like, what am I good at that could stand out, essentially? And for me, I think that I've always been good with people. I've always been able to make friends pretty easy. I get people to like me. I feel like that's always been on my side, and I feel like in the tattoo industry, I stood out for that reason, and I think that I've built a lot. I mean, clients that I haven't worked with, like Trey Klum, who jumped on the Instagram live right before we got on. I tattooed him 9 years ago, 9 years ago, when I was
crazy.
first starting, and he's like, "Oh, hey, what's up, man?" You know, and just remembering, oh, you moved to Florida, you back in Ohio, like just small thing, you know. Because I took the time to try to build that relationship and actually care about this person, and right. I think that is highly looked over in the tattoo industry, you know, and I think a lot of my clients, I build my tattoos around their vision versus just like what I'm looking to do. You pick what I want, or you go get tattooed somewhere else. Like, I don't really operate that way. You know, obviously I'm looking to take on certain projects, and I will turn people away. But like, I try to do it in like the nicest manner, you know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just because I care, and they were willing to pay me money to mark them forever.
Right.
And I think that's awesome. You know, I'm grateful for that, even if I didn't want to do it. But that's kind of my blue ocean. That's kind of what I look for. You know, I fill that gap of just being nice to people, you know.
Dude, and I can confirm that it would. You know, it was a lot of conversation about that. No matter what we were really doing, it could have been how we're building captions online, what kind of content we're actually posting. But it also went to like emails and messaging, how we were even talking to people. I think I brought up in like the first episode that, you know, giving a fuck about how or who you're providing a service to had never mattered to me really before. Outside of like working in a kitchen, because obviously I want to make good food, but I also just want to eat good food.
Did you care more about the people you're serving or the plate you were serving?
I cared more about my plate, and that's absolutely right, you know? And dude, funny enough, I feel like I fell into that trap early on in my like career as a videographer too, because I just like, again, wasn't getting it. I wasn't getting who I was providing value to. I was providing value to myself while I was making videos, because it was really only being thought of in a way that like, oh, do I think this looks good? I guess I was trying to provide value to you as well, because like good photos are obviously like rewarded with like, hey, that looks fucking great. But it was never really about the client or like who I was trying to serve really until we started to get into this. It was really messaging and like how we talk to people. And then I kind of realized, oh, you can have a voice, right? So we're creating this like brand voice, rather, or this like belief that no matter what you're doing, they are the ones that you're trying to bolster and build up, because why not? It's that you only have, I mean, quote unquote, you only have so many sessions with them until their piece is done, or whether it's a sleeve or whatever, but they, you know, you stay with them forever. They're going to wear that tattoo forever, and you only get so many hours with that person to build a strong relationship with, you know. And social media is really good too, because you can stay connected. Like you said, that dude popped in 9 years later and was like, what's up? So it's cool that you can still stay connected, right? But how often does that really happen? And I would like to think it happens a lot, but I don't know that it happens a lot, right? With any people that are really strong. It just doesn't seem like, you said, the industry is strong at really to the maximum giving a fuck about people. And of course it's getting a lot better, I think.
I was going to say, I think right now there's more of that than ever, and maybe it's just what I'm looking for, so it's what's standing out to me and I'm noticing. But and I say all this, but I also want to follow it up with like, you can do that and still have your following. Like there's no really wrong way. You're just, I think that you're just getting into a circle of people that resonate, relate, and now it's just a bunch of people that have the same mindset hanging out. But I feel like there's way more people, at least the kind of clients that I'm looking for, business owners, you know,
like dentists and shit,
you know, doctors. I'm seeking out people of stature, higher status, and I think that this resonates more in that community than a community that's kind of satire-y. I don't think that's the right word. But
I think satire is it's like kind of like topical. It's what's relevant to the context you're saying it in. So I do think that's a good way of putting it.
Yeah, I don't really know how else to explain it, but so it's kind of refocusing on who you are, who you want to be, what kind of people you want to attract. Now, would you say that in the beginning it was obviously hard to say these things, but maybe felt like you mean it?
Oh, for sure, because well, first off, I hadn't fully understood. I was just learning how to start giving a fuck. I mean, it sounds silly, but I like saying that because it really felt that way. I was trying to. It's like trying to run a mile when you've never run a mile. You have to put effort into that. So like giving a fuck took real steps to getting it right. And then another part of that, even when I sometimes didn't fully feel it and it felt like I was speaking for someone else's brand, it's because I hadn't really latched onto ownership of it and understood why I was giving a fuck. That sounds psychotic a little bit, but it's I had to let that whole this is the person I'm trying to produce content for. It's you've contracted me to work and this kind of thing, and I'm trying to do my own thing. I had to let that kind of go to start seeing that it's also my voice in this, and I care about these people too.
Yeah.
So it was a struggle, but I think that once I had ownership of what I was a part of, and really seeing that people gave a shit, one client, DJ.
DJ's the man. I think we're going to have him on here for sure. He's a eye surgeon, animal eye surgeon. He owns 3 or 4 different institutes, animal eye institutes. I think that's the name of them, right? Animal eye institutes throughout the country, and speaks in other countries and teaches other eye surgeons.
Talk about someone that's pushing their own niche in social media is him, because he posts stuff on social media that you wouldn't otherwise see anywhere, like actual photos of animal eye surgery happening, and it's not for everyone. I could see it looking at that and then being oh, that's fucking crazy or gory, but dude, that's his niche. It's literally what the people in his field are looking at day in and day out, and I don't know if anyone else had shown up like that, because I've tried to go into the rabbit hole out of curiosity, but
couldn't find any.
No, but just to go back to he was a big client that really solidified for me that dude, me giving a fuck has, I think, led me to this relationship, and obviously he gives a fuck about us. This is just good. I mean, it just feels good.
Yeah.
And Matt Van Fossen, he's another one, just
Great dude.
A fucking homie,
family right there.
Yes. So it was, I think people like that, and obviously a lot of really good conversations, because I'm such a I need to talk it out person.
Yeah.
We've got a couple people in our life like that too.
Funny story about Matt. I did his half sleeve. I think we did 3 or 4 sessions on it, and he ended up inviting us out to his wedding, which was it was 2 hours away or something, and we showed up right on time. I now realize, even after going to my sister's wedding this past 2 months ago or so, you're supposed to show up a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
We showed up right at the time, and I'm walking up, and I now see them standing at the altar, looking through the door outside, inside, and they're standing. I'm I can't open this door right now.
We could not do
They're
that.
They're gonna think that someone's gonna say no or something.
Objection!
You're right. It's so we basically, I watched them get married through the window of the door, and then hung out with about 200 people that was wondering why a couple of tattooed fuckers were there, But
great wedding though. They had a lot of fun.
Yeah, Matt and Sam, awesome people.
Yes.
Beautiful little kids. Second one, if not here, on the way. I'll be here real soon. which is exciting. You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, we could go on. There's plenty of clients we could bring up right now and talk about, but
it was people like that, those kinds of clients that solidify for me, and even just starting out, provided me the value or I guess like the proof's in the pudding. Like, dude, these people like actually give a fuck. I'm not just faking it. Like, I look forward to seeing these people and I'm excited and I care about where they're at in their lives. I've even taken family photos for these people, which I don't do. I fucking hate doing family photos, but I love doing it for them because it felt like family, right? So yeah, ownership's big. And I think there might even just be a lot of people that feel a disconnect with their own career. I mean, you just said it, 24/7, 365. It's the whole like being self-employed is it's a lifestyle, because when do you really clock out? You can set up boundaries and stuff like that, but you're still living it. Fucking brain fart. God damn it. I had it. It was right there.
Well, we've covered a lot of shit so far. But dude, we could drive this point home all day. Like, building those relationships. Whatever that looks like. Whoever you connect with, whatever, But treating people like they matter, I found for my business, for our business, that it fucking helps a lot, Now it also helps being in an environment where other people are giving you that type of feeling back. They're going out of their way to build you up, or because I get it. We all have hurt in our lives, or have came from places that maybe left us
a chip on our
shoulder, charred, bruised, and now I like to say hurt people, and that's just how we show up, and we sit back and wonder why everyone's so mean and grumpy when really they're just fucking mirroring our attitude,
Right.
But it's definitely a challenge to change in the beginning, to just live into this and not feel like the imposter syndrome or like I'm being fake right now. It makes me think of the quote, "You fake it till you make it." I don't think that's 100% true. I think you have to believe.
Either.
I think you have to believe it first, and then. But
you might be skeptical, but you're definitely, when you start going down that pathway, you keep going down that pathway because even you believe in it a little bit, or taking some sort of ownership and notice it. You might not be sprinting, in that direction, like perhaps you did, or how you feel like you did with your career, like just having a natural knack for really caring about people. But yeah, I think that some people do get a disconnect with their own careers in that way, because they are so, perhaps if you're a tattooer, just art driven, I'm certain, maybe I can't relate to this entirely, but you could probably forget that you're really tattooing real people, and really just be hyper fixated on like what I'm creating, not really who I'm creating it for, which I'm not saying that that's wrong, but I don't think that you can't do both. You can create really strong artwork or provide a really excellent service that you care a lot about, but you could be doing it because you care about the people that want it from you, and then, just like, I'm curious for anyone, is there anything you could say to people that just maybe that hits them, they hear these things and they're like, man, I need to step it up, or like maybe like, well, damn, what am I doing wrong then, or how can I start fixing it? Like, what is something for you that you feel like has always just made it easy for you, I think, to want to give a fuck, or like to give you that natural knack at it?
It's a good question. I think I just go back to growing up with my grandparents. I had someone in my life who really cared and just went out of his way to teach, show up for me, be there, and care about the outcome of my life. So I notice when I'm going through periods of time and I don't have someone like that in my life to help build me up, You know, because we all got that like voice in our head that, no, maybe you're not worth it, or no, you shouldn't do that because this might happen, or the XYZ. But to have a coach or mentor or someone who can feed into me and let me know that I'm doing the right thing, that I'm worth it, that build me up. I think that having that makes me want to give that. If that
it makes sense.
Having a community, power of association, like we talked about, having a positive team you work with, a good work environment, all those things that help me build me up. Now I feel like I have some love in the tank to give, kind of thing.
It's like the pay it forward type of thing, like a butterfly effect.
Yeah.
You open this door for one person, maybe they'll hold it open for the next, and that just like keeps going.
Yeah.
And it's been like 4 hours since the door's been open. Like anyone's actually opened the door from themselves.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's also like we all want that attention. We all want the pat on the back. We all want to be seen, acknowledged. But if I'm not getting that, I'm trying to think how I want to say this. What do I always say? If everyone shows up and sees what they can get out of the room, there's nothing left in the room to give. But if we all show up and bring value and love to the room, now there's an abundance for everybody.
Right.
So if people are showing up and build me up, it's so much easier to give because I'm fed. Now that's not always the case, and you might have to run on empty and still put out, not feel, you might have to fight that. But to answer your question, I think the one thing that has always helped is just putting myself in an environment to be fed, to feed. I don't know if that makes any sense.
It does make sense. Makes sense.
I love the quote, I love that train of thought. If we all show up to the room to get what we can from it, there's going to be nothing left in the room to get.
Yeah.
And on the flip side of that, if we all show up and provide and bring value, now there's an abundance and everybody can eat. I love that train of thought, and it's so easy being self-employed to show up at the shop and be like, okay, what can I do to move my shit forward? How does this benefit, how can I show up here and continue to grow my business versus, what I should do is show up and like, how can I feed? How can I help this person? How can I get them booked? How can I get them set up? How can I make today a better experience for their client? How can I do these things? And if everyone's doing that, it's a fucking fun place to be.
Yeah.
Like everybody feels stoked. Everybody's happy. And I think that will light an environment on fire. I don't know. That's my long-winded question. Or long-winded answer.
Yeah, I think that's good stuff. And I've been it. I've been in it. I've seen it. Albeit usually locked in the computer, recording or something like that. But, I like being around, clients and stuff like that, being out in the open. It's good stuff. It's definitely good stuff, and being in that environment.
Yeah. What's been the most rewarding experience you've had from social media or over these past 5 years? Is there something off the top of your head that's like, oh, that was a fucking big moment?
I mean, it's definitely the prolonged relationships I've gotten with your clients, for sure. A client sending us fucking wine and like bringing me hot sauces. That's,
DJ again.
Yeah, and he's a big example of it, because that's like fucking, again, proof is in the pudding. When you actually make an impact on someone's life, that they really give that much of a fuck about you, that they would do something like that for you, which it doesn't happen frequently. I can't tell you the last time outside of that just some random person, or maybe a better way of saying it, I can't tell you at another career field I was in that just randomly someone that I had blessed came up and was like, dude, I think you're doing great. I fucking appreciate you. Here's this. Just just hot sauce because, he knows I like hot sauce or whatever. But, that touched my heart in a way that for sure I was doing the right things, and I was doing it for the right reasons. It's just big for me, like the relationships I've gotten with people.
Well, I know we hit you guys with a lot this one. In our last episodes are hour and 20. We're going to keep this one a little shorter. But I just want to say I appreciate you guys for showing up. It's exciting to be here. I still get nervous as fuck before every episode. And, I'm excited, though. I'm grateful. And I'm really looking forward to see where this goes. So I appreciate you guys checking in. And I want to hand it over here to Tim, and he'll run you through some things, and we'll be out of here.
Heck yeah. Well, likewise, really appreciate you guys showing up and sticking around with you while we beat you over the head with the emotional stick. But, if you would like to support, you can always do that for free. Just drop us a like, hit that subscribe button. Bell, stay notified when we get episodes out to you guys on whatever platform you enjoy, Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, all that good stuff. And we wanted to ask you a question. Who would you like to see on the show? If you could have one tattoo artist, drop their name below, send them the video, send them the link to the podcast, whatever it is that they listen to or whatever. But we're curious. We'd like to know. If you'd like to follow us on socials, it's at More Than Tats on Instagram. Feels bad saying it every time, but
cringe.
But More Than Tattoos on pretty much every other platform. You can find Chris here on Instagram at Chris Powell Tattoos. You can find me at Saul Good X. And that's about all I got. Oh, sorry, we got a website with merch. Plug the hat. You can go get yourself a beanie, a shirt, hoodie. We got all that good stuff there. Grab a sticker. Support the show financially if you feel called to do so. We also have a Patreon where you can get exclusive Patreon content with merch of their own. Yeah. So go peep that out. Check out what different tiers we have. We've not really talked about this stuff too much. Eventually it'll get easier to talk about.
And I think that you should be able to see all that on there as far as like what you get for each tier. But we got a couple good things that are funny, entertaining videos that are about to pop up, and you're going to want to check out. So, that's all I got.
Without further ado, appreciate you guys for watching this episode of More Than Tattoos, and we will see you on the next one.
Later.
Peace.